Remember when we first started doing these and we couldn't remember what order it came in or what they were? But now it's just like swearing, spoilers, and opinions. It's like just rolls off the tongue.
Oh, my God! Oh, we are so good at this.
Listen now for the podcast.
Boom.
Hello and welcome to 250 Reasons to Stay Indoors. I'm Jordan.
I'm Keiran.
Yes, you are. You are indeed.
That's me.
This is the Don't Interrupt Me. This is the podcast where we watch the IMDb top 250 films. We use a random number generator and it tells us what to watch. We let you, the listeners, know whether it's worth watching or not. So, Keiran, what are we watching today?
Today we are watching Like Stars on Earth or Tar Zameen Par.
Well, okay, fair enough. I was not even going to try to attempt it.
So it turns out that must be the Hindi name for it. Yep. It came out in 2007 and it is number 83 on the list. Check this out. It's number 83 on the list.
Right.
And IMDb also has this thing like IMDb rating where, you know, you put the amount of stars that you think it is and then it averages out over the millions of people who vote. And its number is the rating is 8.3 and the number on the list is 83. What?
Yeah. Is that really cool?
I think it's cool. I think
believe
that's a nice
that you
coincidence.
think that that's cool.
Yeah.
No. There might be some Kierans out there that also enjoyed that.
There is only one Kieran Pearson. But there might be people like me who appreciate that.
Yeah, okay. Loving yourself. So, Keiran, what do you think the film's about?
I think it might be... I think it might be a really cringy film where people always reference the title of the film during the film.
Yeah.
Because films like that just piss me off. It's like, you're being way too bait about this. So they would just go around and... I don't know what the actual film would be. So they would just go around and say, like, oh, yeah... People are unique and snowflakes and stuff. They're like stars on Earth. Yeah. But then they always have their time and they burn out over time and all like stars on Earth. And they are rare and they shine bright through the sky like stars on Earth. Okay, what do you think it's about?
So I think when we were speaking about it last, when we were saying what we were going to watch next week, I was saying that it's probably going to be something like lovey and romantic-y. But I've since sort of changed my mind. I think it could be something that's... I don't know why. I get the idea that it's about... maybe I'm picturing a film that already exists or something, but like special people that have like special abilities and they're not from this world. You know, like aliens. So like, but they look like humans or something like that, and they don't know how they got here, or you know, and they seem to just integrate into our society.
You're describing Superman.
Kind of, yeah. Right, okay, right, yeah. Superman. There we go. So it's like Superman, but their abilities are in such a way that it massively helps humankind, and then somehow they like die or have to go, or you know, it's not they're not aware of it or something. You know, it's a little bit of a
in the way that stars burn out.
Yeah,
like their time is like they have a certain amount of time on Earth to share their amazing gifts.
But they're like finding themselves at the same time, like they grow up on Earth or something like that. Like maybe they appear, they like a meteorite, they fell off as specks of dust and then turned into humans, like as babies, and like were brought up as orphans or whatever, and you know, and they do go on to do incredible things and then die very early, and it's all very sad, and it's like just some weird story about that.
Sounds a bit Kurt Cobain-ish.
Yeah, so yeah. Oh, what if it's like all of the people
Club.
There you go. Yeah, what if it's that? That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
That would be cool. Although I'm really happy for it to be a romantic film, because you know how much I like a romantic film.
I'm glad that we haven't had many of them so far.
I'm looking forward to more of them, because I'm sure there'll be... Well, okay, that's fine. That's fine. You're allowed to not look forward to things as much as I am allowed.
And I will reserve my right to do so.
I will reserve my right to look forward to romantic films.
Okay, well, we'll both just sit on this table and be grumpy.
And be reserved. and reserve our rights.
Yeah.
Cool, so let's watch this film.
Let's go.
Like stars on Earth.
Wow.
Was that a kid?
I thought it was still the start, but then it sounded like a child. I don't know what happened. Or maybe it was just a child, Owen Wilson. Wow.
All right, okay, bye.
Okay, and we're back with a couple of fast thoughts. Film.
Oh, come on. What's all that about? Come on.
I'm sorry.
Are you a newbie?
Usually you take the lead, so I was just like...
Okay, go again.
Okay, fast forward.
You got this.
India.
I knew you were going to start with that. Painting.
School.
Dyslexia.
The thing is, I'm trying to think of a word that I can't say properly because I've got like as if it's like tub, but no, it doesn't work. So I'm just going to move on. I'm so bad at this.
How are you so terrible?
I don't know. Paint. Oh, you said that, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Oh my god.
Okay, crap dads. Safeguarding on the limit.
Nice mums.
Yeah.
Wacky teachers.
Really strict teachers.
Friends. Oh, kill me.
Boarding schools. Okay, that we'll wrap it up there.
I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay. That's your one.
Okay, yeah. So the next thing that we do, the 15-second pitch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is a thing that we do. And what happens in the 15-second pitch is I, Keiran, say what the film was about in 15 seconds. I try and sum up the whole film in 15 seconds.
Okay, so you ready to do so?
I am ready indeed.
3, 2, 1, go.
So this guy called Ishan, he's got dyslexia and he's in school and no one understands the fact that he has dyslexia. He's actually really creative. He's a sick painter. His parents send him to boarding school because he's not good at academic stuff. He has a teacher that teaches him to read and write, and he wins a painting competition. Everyone loves him.
I thought you were going to stop. I thought you stopped, so I stopped it.
Is it 16.1
No,
or something?
you're 14. But I stopped it for maybe like half a second, so I think you were pretty much there.
So
I'm
where
going
is
to
it
give
now?
you. It's 14.04, right?
Oh, because you stopped. So you didn't restart it and stop it again.
When I stopped it, like
there was like a tiny thing.
Yeah, there was like a tiny pause.
So we're happy to say that I succeeded that time.
I will give you the benefit of the doubt, and say
and especially because you did such a bad job with the fast thoughts.
Yes.
Okay,
yes, you can. Cool. You can have this one.
Nice one. Okay, we're equal.
Yeah.
Did I sum it up okay?
Yeah, I think you did. You did a good job.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right, I'm quite happy.
Do you want to discuss it at all, or do you want to just go straight into a proper synopsis?
You know what? Let's just go straight into it.
Okay, let's do that.
Here we go.
Okay, so the film starts with Keiran.
It starts with a kid who is looking into a little pond. It almost looks like, but
yeah,
it's
and
actually,
he's like getting the little fishies out.
Yes, it's a gutter. And so here is this kid, Ishan. We're in India, and this kid's 9 years old, and he is catching some little tiny fish into his water bottle, and he's clearly mesmerized by these fish. He's always late for the bus every single day, and his mum chucks him onto the bus. Goes into school, and we see him struggling with school. Essentially, a lot of the first half of the film is him struggling at school and his struggles at home with his academic.
He gets back from
issues.
that day at school and he's just got his exam papers or whatever it is. He throws them at the dogs. The dogs obviously really enjoy his company and they're literally like tearing up his homework, which was a bit too cliche for me.
It was quite cliche.
Yeah. But then he goes home, like it's a classic child. He runs in, throws his bag, goes to put the fish in the thing, and his mum's like, put your bag in the room. He puts his bag in his room, he eats food, runs downstairs, and then he's playing with the dogs. The other kids are playing like cricket, I think, or something like that.
It's definitely cricket. It's India, mate.
And then they throw the ball over to the ball rolls over to him, and then he goes to throw it and like wildly misses, gets into a fight, and we just learn that he's like constantly sort of disappointing his parents with bad grades, getting into fights, being a little bit troublesome, bad behavior, and you know the rest of it.
He has an older brother who is madly academically successful.
Yeah,
and he's like, does all his sports and stuff, and he's probably he gets top grades in all the subjects apart from one thing where he was second or whatever else.
Yeah, so Ishan is essentially living his life in the shadow of his brother.
Yeah.
It goes on with him continuing to sort of fail at school because the dogs tore up his exam results. When his parents when the teachers call his parents in for a meeting about how sort of poorly he's behaved, they discuss that obviously he hasn't given them the exam results.
Yeah.
They show him that he's failing. He also takes a point where in class he leaves and bunks off of school.
Yeah.
Am I right? You put your finger up at me like
I'm sorry. I just wanted to bring something else up. But yes, there is a point where he bunks off school for a day.
Yeah, and he sort of goes around the town enjoying the scenery and just walking around and like childlike wonder of the sea. He then later on asks his brother to forge a note saying,
excusing him for that day that he was off.
Yeah.
His parents eventually find out when they happen upon the note, and they question him about it, and his dad like slaps him up saying, "Who wrote this note for you? Blah 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 blah."
Yeah.
And it's essentially all of these things come together when they're at this meeting and they're discussing his truancy.
Yeah.
They're discussing his bad grades, his bad behavior, and they're saying it's just a lack of attitude. He's always wanting to go to the toilet. He's always misbehaving. He's always saying he wants to get a drink, blah, 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 blah. They decide to send him to boarding school.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to go to boarding school. He's crying his eyes out. He's having nightmares about it. And also, we have something that we haven't really mentioned is that essentially this kid's getting abused by his teachers who are saying stuff like, you're an idiot, you're a duffer, and the other kids in the school say the same thing too. And his dad says this a lot. He's just shouting at him and saying that his mum spoils him and just praises him for all of his bad behavior and everything. This kid, it's not formalized that he has dyslexia at this point, but we can see that he has difficulties with stuff. But we can also see that he's very talented in as much as he has these wild, amazing dreams where he's so creative and imaginative, and his painting is brilliant because when he has his day off, when he bunks, he sees this father and son that have some kind of ice lolly thing with syrup and stuff.
Ice snow, like ice snow, flavored ice stuff.
There you go.
Snow cone kind of thing, yeah.
Kind of vibe, yeah. And, dude, in fucking Monsters, Inc.,
yeah,
when they're in that cave. No, not Monsters. Yeah. In Monsters, Inc., when they're in that
snow
cave.
Cone.
Yeah, snow cone.
Yeah.
Exactly the thing that you
but
described.
It's on a stick.
That thing on a stick.
Yeah.
Like from Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did this. So there's that. Anyway, this kid, Ishan, he paints one of those and it looks amazing.
Yeah.
He goes to boarding school.
Yeah.
He gets taken to boarding school.
Halfway through the term as well. So he's like been just plonked in there halfway through everything.
And he has a shit time.
A really, really bad time. Basically, this school prides itself on being incredibly disciplined. The teachers constantly belittle him and berate him for his bad marks. His books are just riddled with red pen and such.
And he gets sat next to the smartest boy in the class, in a lot of the classes.
In an attempt to sort of encourage him to do better.
Now, what's kind of cool, it didn't really get discussed a lot, but there is some kind of common ground between these two people because Ishan has learning difficulties and this kid who has the best grades, he is physically disabled in as much, I think maybe one of his legs might just be paralyzed.
He's got a bum leg.
That's a bit insensitive to say. That is quite insensitive. But essentially he's on crutches the whole time. And they kind of buddy up as mates. Because that's what you do when you buddy up, you become mates.
Well, yeah, maybe. Not always. But
well, that's what happens here. Anyway, so
in films.
Yeah, exactly. So they kind of got each other's back, and at points where Ishan is missing, they ask this guy, by the way, I've got a blocked nose, really sorry about it, hay fever. So as he continues to get punished for his bad behavior and he hides his inability to work in his bad behavior, he just closes up. He doesn't talk.
Yeah.
He's scared, and he stops painting altogether.
Yeah. So there's points where his parents come to visit him, and they see that progressively he's getting sort of worse and worse. At first, he's like I want to go home sort of thing. The next time they come, he just starts running round like
basketball
a
court.
basketball court and just won't talk to them. And then it gets to the point where he literally just stops talking altogether. They ring him and he'll like have the phone to his ear, but he's not actually saying anything.
And
he's
also
just
what they're
listening.
saying is the mum's like, yeah, it's your brother's tennis finals next weekend, so actually we can't come and see you.
Yeah.
And the brother's like, oh, I'm going to really miss you at the tennis finals. And obviously Ishan is just like, obviously enraged.
Why are you fucking telling me this? This is so shit.
This has ruined my world.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, this art teacher, who is just as horrible as all the other art teachers, as all the other teachers in the school, for some reason he leaves to go teach the whole of New Zealand how to draw, apparently.
Yeah.
So that's a quote from the film. And there's a new, so there's like a substitute teacher that
A
comes in.
new wacky teacher.
And he's a wacky teacher. He plays Indian flute and he dresses up as a clown and he sings a song. And it's the first time that the characters in the film are actually singing, as opposed to there just being a song in the background.
Yeah, yeah. For anyone that would know this, he comes dressed in as a clown. He looks a lot like Waluigi, which is just a strange character for him to portray. I'm pretty sure you won't get that, Kieran, but that's just something for...
Yeah. So, and he's been all wacky and everything. Essentially, he's encouraging the kids to be free and to open up their creativity and things like this. Now, he tries to encourage this with Ishan as well, but Ishan is just so closed up and he's so scared. Now, they do this one lesson where the art teacher says to the class, here, I'm going to tell you a story about a boy who was having trouble reading and writing. Every time he would look at the letters, they would dance on the page. What were you going to say?
I just wanted to clarify that this teacher, as he comes in, he sees pieces of Ishan's previous work in books and stuff, and he seems to be the only teacher that starts to piece together what actually might be going on here, and like has an idea about the dyslexia that's sort of making his life a trouble. So that's when we get to the point where he's bringing this lesson in that you're speaking about.
Oh,
where...
has he gone to his parents' home at this point, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he sort of pieces together that Ishan has dyslexia, and then goes to Ishan's parents' home, and he actually talks to them and explains it to them, what it is that he thinks is wrong with Ishan, and then actually explains it through using there's like a box that has Japanese writing or
like
Chinese
a Japanese
writing.
games console.
Yeah, and he's
And
like,
he
read
pressed-
this, and
yeah.
he's like, well, I can't. And he's like, stop being disruptive, and he's like, well, no, I can't. Stop giving me bad behavior. Well, I don't. It's like, and like, you know, he proves the point.
Yeah. So he's explained to the dad and to the mum like what dyslexia is and everything. Okay, and also he discovers that at that point that Ishan is actually a wicked painter.
Yeah.
But he's just never seen it. So going back to this lesson where he starts to explain, I'm going to tell you the story about this boy who has all these issues with learning to read and write, but he was really creative in other ways, blah, 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 blah. And this person's name was, and Ishan's thinking he's going to say me.
Yeah.
But then he says Albert Einstein, and he goes through a load of other famous people who've done amazing shit. And then he kind of takes Ishan aside and says, by the way, another person who was that is me. And so because he was obviously showing, look, here I am, and yet I had all these issues reading and writing, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
This art teacher takes Ishan under his wing and teaches him to read and write in really creative ways, like using painting and plasticine and
Different sensory experiences.
like drawing the letters, like tracing the letters on his arm and making him feel it and picturing it in his mind as opposed to always writing it down.
And what he does, he convinces the head teacher to give Ishan a chance to let him have all of his tests and such done orally instead of written, just for a while, whilst he sort of does some one-to-one sessions with Ishan to actually teach him to read and write.
Yeah. The dad comes to the school and he's in the area for a business trip apparently, and he comes to the school and he's like, yeah, I wanted to speak to you, art teacher, because the art teacher came to the house. So he goes to the art teacher and he says, just wanted to let you know that my wife's been doing some Googling and has been reading up on dyslexia. And I just wanted to show you that we're
not the type of parents that don't care.
And the art teacher is all like, well, it's nice that you think that you care, but actually showing some actual love and affection is the kind of thing that's going to go places, as opposed to your wife just Googling stuff.
Yeah.
And he gave this example of in
A tribe
in
somewhere. I can't remember the name.
African country. Really sorry. And they say that they don't deforest at all. They just go around a tree.
Well, they don't cut trees
They
down.
don't cut trees. They just go around a tree and shout abuse at it for hours, and they end up.
And the tree eventually withers and dies.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is quite a vivid picture of what he's been doing to Ishan, essentially.
exactly.
Yeah. So now the dad feels like an absolute dick.
Yep, and he is a dick.
He is a dick.
So the Ishan's grades are really improving a lot, and one day, the art teacher decides to put on an art mela, some kind of art competition, and like an all-day thing where they do loads of painting and all this stuff, and they invite all the teachers and students, and so they paint and they do this little competition, and the art teacher's mentor comes down to like the art teacher's guru, if you like, comes down to judge the competition, and essentially Ishan does a mad painting, wins the competition. Second place is the art teacher, which kind of makes sense. And he does a beautiful picture of Ishan.
Yeah.
And Ishan's picture is on the front page of the yearbook, and the picture of Ishan is on the back page of the yearbook. Yeah. And so it's this amazing thing, and the film kind of ends with all of the teachers singing his praises. Yeah. Saying, his grades have massively improved.
Yeah. It's like the end of the school year. Everyone's going home from boarding school, and the teachers are just giving like a little, teacher parent day sort of thing.
Yeah. Parents' evening kind of thing.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. And then they go home, don't they? But like just before, there's a little emotional scene between the teacher and Ishan, and they both like hug, and it's like, I'll see you next semester. I'll miss you. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and it's nice.
The end.
Cool.
This film made me cry.
Oh.
First one. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
At what point?
The end.
Okay.
Yeah, like it was... So, for all the listeners, this film is 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah, I looked on IMDb and it said 2 hours.
No, it's not.
Yeah, no, it isn't. It isn't. Straight up, isn't.
Yeah, it's 2 hours 45 minutes. My first notes on this were, for fuck's sake, I've been duped. It's another Indian film, and it's 2 hours and 45 minutes. So I'm thinking a Wednesday, and I'm thinking Stalker combined, and I'm like, this is going to be hard.
Oh, okay.
I was amazed. Like I literally just did not feel at all like this was a long film. I really, really liked this.
I didn't see the time go that much as well. It wasn't long.
And by the end of it, I think it was the relationship with his dad. I don't know why. I was talking about this with my girlfriend as well, because I have a really good relationship with my dad. But for some reason, that like just really like got to me. Like the fact that his dad was like such a dick, and then saw the error in his ways, and then like it was that. Like even now, I'm like getting a little bit like, oh, like the fact that he'd seen that, and then like just the idea that Ishan and him are gonna build like something really nice.
But at the risk of going a little bit too emotional on the podcast, your dad is a lovely man, and you do have a great relationship. However, your dad is quite like, do it right. And, and he's like, he's a very much no BS kind of guy, and that has come down to you, and in many ways, you'll just be like, yeah, okay, that's fine, Kieran, just do it right. And that's all good. But there is a lot of pressure within that. And as much as you have, you've done amazing things and you've succeeded in many different ways, there's probably a little bit of that still within you where you feel the pressure to succeed based on someone else's expectations. So that might be where that comes from.
Maybe. Thank you, Dr. Pearson, for that quick little couch therapy session.
£60 an hour. So
yeah, fuck.
I nearly cried, and I welled up. I didn't have the tears trickling down, but it was two moments. The first one was, by the way, how fucking good is Ishan the actor, like the kid?
Yeah.
He's a fucking awesome actor. Like that, he did some amazing stuff. And there was a point where, so the scene where he gets in a fight with a kid at the start of the film, there's a big misunderstanding because so Ishan accidentally throws the ball onto the roof. The kid says, go get the ball. And Ishan just shuts. He just completely just
Yeah, he
just
freezes
closes.
up. Yeah.
He freezes up and he closes up, and he just keeps staring at this kid. And so the kid starts fighting with him, and Ishan is like essentially fighting back. And then he's going, and he gets pulled into the kid's parents' house, and the kid's parent is saying like, "Oh, what's the fuck's your kid doing?" and all this shit. Like, what? You got to control this kid. And so the dad is going on at Ishan, saying like, giving him shit because. But the thing is though, is that Ishan isn't given the space to actually, explain his side of the story. He doesn't know where to let his emotions out, and also he can't explain the fact that he doesn't understand all of these directions. So he goes onto the roof in a rage. Actually, sorry, he goes onto the roof before he goes down to see and gets told off by his dad. But he goes onto the roof and he walks and he's angry. It's all one shot. This is amazing. He's angry. He's huffing. He's puffing, and it kind of quietens down, and he starts crying. And there's like a little child in my heart that just like little Keiran was just like really hurt at that point.
This highlights just how great the actor is, because he goes back to like anger. It's such a, what it feels to be like a really truthful depiction of that sort of situation where you're really, your adrenaline's pumping, you're really angry, then you're also getting welled up and upset, but then back to angry and like, you don't know where you are, and you're like very much sort of in limbo with like all of these emotions flooding around. And he just captured that so well. It's amazing. A child. That was just incredible.
In fact, today I was teaching some kids in this school in Brixton, and like there were kids who had a fight in the middle of my class, and I had to sit them down and talk to them and whatever else. But there was that exact thing happening where they got angry at each other, but underneath it all was a kid who was just misunderstood, and they were upset that someone misunderstood what they wanted to say. And that's all it was. That's the reason they got angry, is because they were upset about something. And actually just being angry at that kid because they feel misunderstood is a bad thing. Anyway, we're getting off track. But the other time I nearly started crying was when the dad comes to the school and the art teacher's giving him this vibe of like, well, you think you care, but actually you don't. The dad goes to find Ishan, and he finds Ishan reading the poster for the art mela, and Ishan is reading out loud, and he's putting together all the words, and he's never been able to read out loud in his life. And the dad is welling up, seeing the fact that actually he's improving based on the teaching of this other teacher, and he just can't face the abuse that he's like
he's just embarrassed, isn't he? He doesn't know what to do with himself, and he can't actually find the courage almost to go up to Ishan and like hug him. At that point I literally wrote on my notes, just fucking hug your son.
Oh my god, yeah. And I kind of called him out and called him a waste man in my notes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, so, absolutely.
Yeah, so but still, beefs.
Yes.
What is this film actually called? Because so it says on IMDb, Like Stars on Earth. Then so it has like a Hindi name, which is fine. But then when you watch the film and it says the name of the film, it gives you an English name as well, which is Every Child is Special. And so it's like, all right.
Maybe that's just a little sentence to start off with the idea of the film. No, probably not.
No, because then they also, so they write it in Hindi.
Yeah.
And then they write it in Punjabi as well, and in Arabic.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm pretty sure they must take the title Like Stars on Earth from somewhere, because so the art teacher, by the way, as a background thing, he also teaches in a school for mentally and physically disabled kids. And there's a point where one of the parents or teachers says, "Oh yeah, they're like little stars on Earth."
Yeah.
By the way, quickly referencing what I said in the prediction.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the fact that they said little stars on Earth, they must have looked at the film and be like, okay, well, we're going to call it in English. Little stars on Earth. Let's call it Like Stars on Earth. So that might be where that came from. But I was just like,
is it not in the song though? Because there's a song that plays during that part.
That's a good point.
Which I was a bit okay. I don't know if it's really a beef. It's not a bit and bob. It bothers. I think it bothers me.
What bit?
When you see that school Tulips, and the song in the background is playing, and it just felt like an extended version of one of the charity adverts that you see on TV that are telling you to donate. Like I felt it felt a bit cheap. I don't. I felt like it was just like oh, look at these people. Oh, it's so sad.
No,
Oh,
I felt the opposite.
They're
I felt
so great, but they're so under like estimated, and oh, they could.
But I felt
They're
that
all
there
so
was a
special.
real beauty in that, because here is a bunch of people who they're supposedly, in this culture, apparently what was depicted in this film is that in this culture, these people are not valued nearly as much as people who are able-bodied and able-minded. And so, and yet here they are celebrating their achievements, and they're doing this performance, and they're performing in front of their friends and family, and there's loads of people there to see them, and they look so happy. So I feel like that scene was really important to show the happiness that people who are disabled have,
Yeah.
versus the trauma that kids go through in mainstream education.
I think I would have just liked to have seen more focus on like some of them as individuals rather than just like a big group of shots of loads of them. You know what I mean? It didn't actually show any of their personalities or anything like that too much. There was no like actual dialogue or anything like that. Like I would have liked to have seen it maybe if he was actually teaching in a class, or like there's just a small group of them or something like that. Like I think I would have got more from that scene if it was like that, focusing on like how they interact and the things that they're capable of.
Yeah,
A bit more than just loads of shots and then them doing a big concert sort of thing.
yeah,
Just yeah, as I say, I don't know if it's really a beef or not, but I think it grinded with me a little bit.
sure. Can we touch on the music?
Yeah.
So this is a beef of mine.
Okay.
Is that it feels like there has to be music at any given point. Like I was glad that the points that there were silence, they were really poignant. But it was like there wasn't enough silence. So there were points where there was like a song that was in the style of, it was like a really cheap version of like a Rage Against the Machine song.
Yeah.
And
I
that
know
was
what you mean.
really cringy for me.
It felt like they were really leaning into like Western music or something.
I mean, sure, that's
it gets
fine,
the
but
point
it just
across
wasn't
though,
done very
doesn't
well.
it? Because it was a song about like everything needs to go quick, like we live in the world and like
Oh, that's the first one. No, I'm talking about the one later on.
Oh.
There was one later on when he was in the boarding school.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I think I do remember thinking this sounds like Rage Against the Machine sort of thing.
And I just thought, nah, that's no good. And also there was like a really weird bluesy piece of music. I don't know. But there were some points where like the music was wicked, but it's strange in that there's not like atmospheric music, and there's not music that goes underneath things. It's like, here's a piece of music.
Yeah. I put that down to like a Bollywood film sort of thing. I know
So
they
here
have
it
a
is.
lot of...
We have. It's not. I don't think it was full on.
No,
Bollywood.
it wasn't,
Still
because there
full-on
wasn't lots of
Bollywood.
dancing and stuff like that.
But there was
there
one
was
time
one dancing thing.
was when the art teacher came in.
Yeah.
And the guy is introduced by a flute and dresses as a clown, then starts singing a song about your mind being free and everything.
Okay,
You
that
don't-
pissed me off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that pissed me off.
Go on.
I was so like, okay, I started the film like obviously not feeling great about it, as I said previously.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is gonna be fucking shit. And like, I've got one note about like the intro, like being all Play-Doh, and my note is literally just like, what the fuck is this stupid Play-Doh bullshit? Like, I came in such a negative way, started to like come around a bit. And then really got onto like I felt like on level with Ishan, and I was really like feeling for him.
On a level with Ishan.
On a level with Ishan.
Yeah.
And then this teacher came in and he's like, I'm like waiting, because I just know that's what's going to happen, is it? It's like there's going to be a teacher that comes in and changes everything. Like you can see it in the picture of the film.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for that. And then for him to be introduced with a bloody flute and in a clown outfit, I was just like, who is this film for? Is this film for kids? Or is it, who is it actually for? Like, because this is just making me think now I'm watching a kid's film. Because he's like come out and he's doing a fun song. Everybody shake, 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 shake. And I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is happening right now?
Yeah. You know what? I was initially like, oh, fuck this song. This is just really grinding on
And then
me.
he started to shake.
No, it wasn't the content of the song. It was the amount of time it went on for that I was finally.
It was
won
a
round.
long song.
Dude. 5 minutes in, and I was like, shake, 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 and that song was on for fucking ages. Like there was like, by the time that you would have thought the song had ended, like, oh no, bridge number 3, and it's going on to another part of the song. It was kind of amazing, but just like that was something I'm starting to appreciate about Indian cinema, with the 2 Indian films that I've seen now is that I think the idea of staying into one particular style of filming, or like I don't know, like for example, there's a certain montage, or like for example, the waking up in the morning montage was a completely different style of film than the rest of the film. Then they have like random animated sequences just kind of like chucked in there, and sure, that's happened before in different places, but
the way the film was put together, there's a lot of different elements.
There's loads of different styles of cinema, but I'm really glad that in this film it kind of all worked out, because what with it being quite very much childhood based and learning based, I feel like it all kind of makes sense. But in the moment when you're watching it, it's like, whoa, hold on a sec, how does that? It just feels so weird that it's so opposite and so different, and also there's a song happening at the same time. So it's like, wait, is this almost a musical? And a little bit weird.
Yeah, it was nice how it was sort of all put together. There was that scene with where he's trying to work out what is it, 3 times 9 is, and it's like, okay, 3 into 9.
I liked that montage.
Yeah,
I kind of liked that.
And he's imagining him in a spaceship. And so, like, I mean, already showing a good understanding, because he knows all of the planets
that
and what
Earth
order
is
they're
a third.
in. I don't know that.
Away.
I don't know. I don't know. And he's like, okay, Earth is a third planet. We need to pick up the third planet. And he's like this animated spaceship, and he's like picking it up. He's like, got to fly past Mars. Oh no, it's really hot. We got to put the extra boosters on. Here we go. Oh, phew, we got past. Hi Jupiter, how's it going? See ya. Okay, now we're getting to planet 9, Pluto. We need to smash it into, and 3 into 9, smash, and then Pluto disappears, and what's left is Earth. It's like 3 into 9 is 3,
because 3 is left.
Yeah, and it was like, oh well,
that's his reasoning.
Such a good, but it's such a good way of explaining how, like, to someone who doesn't necessarily understand how it works, a logical way to get to that point.
Yeah,
and like he's really confident that that's the right answer.
Yeah, there's a thing that he says, which he says a few times. It's a really cool quote. So he had spent like the whole of that exam time, like having this daydream where he's figuring it out, and he's really happy with himself with the answer that he put down. And then one of the kids was like, "So how did the test go?" And he says, "Bendas," which means no fear.
Yeah,
and I just thought that was really cool. So if you're like, "How's it going, man?" I'm like, "Bendas." All good, man. No fear, no fear. Yeah, so there were a couple other good quotes as well, but I'll come up to that in the bits and bobs. I want to rattle off some quick beefs.
Okay, go for it.
So when he goes for a day off and he bunks off, first of all, how did he get out of the school? Because there was a gate that was opened, and I would presume that after the school is open, the person who opens the gates, after all the kids come in, he closes the gates again.
Yeah.
So how did he get out of school? Second of all, how does he have the money to buy the ice lolly thing and to get on the buses and to go around town and do all of these different things? There's a song, obviously, being sung at the same time as him having this. By the way, there's fucking loads of montages in this film.
Yeah, there's a lot of montages.
I love a montage, and so I appreciated that. It's just sometimes there was music there where it didn't need to be. Anyway, there was a choir singing underneath his montage, and the choir was dodgy AF. Just like the tuning was just like, not a fan.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that was pretty bad.
Also, he's going on buses all across town, and you're thinking like, how well does this kid know the town? 9 years old, that he can just take a bus somewhere and just end up somewhere, and then he just winds up on the bus that his classmates take back.
Yeah.
From school to home.
Yeah.
So he just got on the bus that was at school, didn't need to have the keys to get into the bus, and then just went home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
So that's a bit weird. All right, you got any beefs?
No, we've gone through most of them, to be honest. Like I sort of warmed up towards the film. I do want to point out. No, it's a bit and bob. It's a bit and bob.
Let's do bits and bobs. Yeah.
Okay, I do want to point out dyslexia wasn't mentioned until 1 hour and 45 minutes in. Like,
so are you saying
the first time the word dyslexia was used was 1 hour and 45 minutes into the film?
So are you saying that's good or bad?
Okay, no, it probably fits into beef because it pissed me off. Like the whole way through the film, I'm like, it's dyslexia. It was so obvious.
Okay.
It was so obvious.
Sure. At the same time,
how does no one know?
Maybe it's not big in that culture.
Okay, all
and
right.
maybe it's not accepted
right. Okay.
much in that culture.
Okay.
It's like it's because
I'm just going to park that because that's a beef. And
Okay,
we're done
okay,
with
all
beefs.
right, okay.
So,
Let's
you know.
park that. Yeah.
So one of my little bits and bobs was great with when he's talking to his mum and they're saying you're going to go to boarding school. He's like, no, mummy, don't make me go to boarding school. Don't make me. I know. I'll learn my ABCs. I'll learn my ABCD, LMNO, XYZ.
Yeah, I saw that. That was fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's okay, you got some work to do. Okay.
Yeah.
At that point, the mum must have been really emotional, and then she heard that. She's like, oh no,
Yeah.
fuck this. You're going to boarding school.
There was another one where he obviously when he'd said that he was sick and that's why, and then he goes to school the next day. The teacher says, "Why were you off?" And he's like, "Teacher, sick note. Oh, you had a cold." She touches his forehead and she says, "Like, 99. Go sit down." It's like what
Bullshit! Absolute bullshit. Since when can
is she
you
a
tell?
mutant? Has she got the superhero like a proper like D-list X-Man that can just like tell the internal temperature of someone, like the human thermometer?
To be fair, that would be a cool superpower to have.
Oh my god, no, it wouldn't.
No, I think because if I was to have a lame superpower, I've thought about this.
Yeah.
Because every time that I chop onions, which is pretty much every time I make a meal, because my meal making capabilities are quite limited, and I almost always start with olive oil, onions, and garlic, right?
Yeah.
And I always spend ages cleaning the garlic crusher because I want to crush them garlic, but you also spend time cleaning the garlic crusher anyway.
You not just cut the garlic with a knife?
No, because I want crushed garlic, Jordan.
Okay.
So every time I chop onions, I'm like, this is long. I wish I could just chop an onion like that, like peel and chop an onion just like that, like this. Yeah.
Okay.
I wish I could chop an onion, like peel and chop an onion that quickly. So if I was to have a shit superpower, which is still like, people might be like, oh, Keiran, can you come chop some onions for me? Then that would be my superpower. Now, also, being able to tell the temperature with your hand, that would be madly valuable. Like, there must be loads of jobs.
Name 3 jobs that would be useful if you could do a thermometer with your hand.
Farmer, because you have to be able to check the temperature of the soil to see if it's fertile or not. 2, cook, so that you can know whether the food that you're cooking is actually warm enough or cold enough.
But you got to stick your finger in it. Can't do that, Keiran.
Okay, I'll retract that. You could be maintenance person for swimming pools to check the temperature of the water.
Yeah.
Okay, and number 3, GP, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, so you could be a doctor and you can check people's temperature.
A doctor, a farmer, or a maintenance guy.
Or maintenance person for swimming pools. Yeah. So I've just done exactly what you said. Name 3 jobs. I nailed it. Thank you very much. I win. So I would still think that it'd be a valuable superpower to have. But I did think it was bullshit that she'd just be like, oh yeah, that's definitely 99 degrees. Like, no.
No. Do you want to go with another one of your bobs or your bits?
Something that I pointed out, that I noticed is that, can you think of one female character that was a strong positive influence in this film?
No, I can only really think of like 3 female characters in this film. His mum and 2 teachers.
Exactly. And the teacher.
Oh, and the mum that was shouting, saying she was going to call the police.
And I guess, and the principal of the school, the first school, she was female as well.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So what I'm saying is, the only nice female character was the one who was the art teacher's friend in the other school.
But his mum was nice. His mum didn't. She didn't understand how to help Ishan. That's important. They didn't understand what was wrong with him, so they didn't understand how to help him. So she's doing her best and obviously getting frustrated. I can imagine a parent of someone that has a learning difficulty and doesn't understand how or even know that is the case. That's got to be frustrating. But even still, she seemed like a good mum. She was very loving, and she was very like, the dad was making a lot of the decisions. She didn't really get much of a say in it.
Yeah, I do feel kind of bad for her because she is kind of trying her best, but she just didn't know enough about the condition to be able to...
I mean, to be fair though, there was one point when they're in the car on the way back from the meeting, and Ishan's in the back, and they're talking about how, and she's like upset, saying it's her fault. the dad's saying, no, it's not your fault. She's just like, I don't understand. I gave up my career for the kids. I don't understand like what more
have I
can
done
do.
wrong? What have I not done?
And it's like, Ishan's sitting right behind
there.
you. Like that's not really a conversation you should be having in front of him. That's kind of.
But I reckon it just shows their attitude towards the kid himself.
Yeah.
Because if they think that he's such an idiot or duffer as they say that he is, that was okay.
No, yeah, it was fine. I just wasn't expecting it.
Okay. So if they're saying that about him all the time, they probably don't think that he actually understands the stuff that they're saying about him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
well,
it kind of shows their disrespect and all of this stuff. So yeah, it's kind of tricky. But do you have any more bits and bobs?
No.
So if you were to be someone in this film, who would you be?
I would be Ishan's brother.
Oh yeah.
And I try to be a little bit more be more there for him, if that makes sense. Like he's good. He seems like a good brother.
He does
and
seem like a good
seems
brother.
like he really cares.
And I think he's doing the best he can in a way.
Yeah,
but still,
I feel like I'd try to be around him more, and just try and be more supportive, and like maybe just spending more time with him. Like when Isham was out, like lying with dogs, like maybe I would go and do that with him, or do something else with him, because he's obviously he's struggling to sort of socialize. And like I think I'd just try and be there more for Ishan.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't got much more to do. But
that's cool.
Who would you be?
I mean, I think it's quite easy for me to say, I think I would be the brother or I'd be the mum and stand my ground against the dad. But
yeah,
I mean, that's completely discounting the internal relationship within that family.
Yeah.
By the way, we're quite serious this episode. I think we're going into the topic quite deep. I think it actually means a lot more to us than I think we
I felt like this was quite
close to home.
No, I don't want to say close to home, because it's not like I've never really been, I don't think anyway, that I've been affected by any of the sort of situations.
If you've been affected by any of the things in this episode,
email in at 250reasons.
That's not what you should do.
We won't be able to help. We can try.
I can do one of my nice, couch sessions.
Yeah, there you go.
That's not what it sounded like, but
a free couch therapy session from Kieran Pearson
via email.
Yeah. No, I just the issues within the film are something that I resonate with. I think it's important. It's sad to see. Like, it is that very idea that's sort of banged in throughout the whole film of like when he's like losing his creativity and he's drowning in like just people berating him and such. It's like it's I don't know. It just feels like it's such a shame to see that happen to a child, and I don't know. The film captured it really well. I don't really have a bad word to say about it, and I think it's just really good. So that's why I got so serious about it. I'm sorry, guys.
That's all right. If I was the mum,
Yeah.
I reckon I'd go to the school by myself if I could.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because it'd be cool if...
Come on, Mum. What are you doing?
Well, she has to look after the other...
Take your brother with you. Like,
yeah, probably.
What else is she doing?
Yeah, but I can't imagine that she would be able to say to the dad, like, oh, I'm just nipping off to the school. The dad's going to be like, what are you going to do at the school? Who are you going to talk to? All of this stuff. So maybe
Ishan, my son.
Yeah, but he'd want to be there as well. That's what I'm saying.
Will come with.
But the point is that when he's there as well, he takes charge of everything, doesn't he?
No. Yeah.
So
yeah.
What I'd like to see a deleted scene where the mum talks to the art teacher, and the mum's like, "Listen, I feel like I've messed up at some point. Can you give me some pointers? Like, tell me more about this. I want to do the best, and because I feel like I've missed the boat somewhere. So can you help me? Can you help me out? Help me to help him. What are you doing that's working so well? Because I feel like I get it more than my husband does.
Yeah."
Maybe
a scene where halfway through that montage where he's teaching Ishan, he also teaches her how to teach Ishan, sort of thing, or explains, some teaching methods
more
and stuff
emotional.
like that.
Oh,
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be right. Nice.
You imagine like it goes. There's a modulation. And it goes to another, like a higher, an elevated scene where now he's teaching the parents how to support Ishan.
Oh, when you said modulation, I also was picturing that there was a key change in the music as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it goes up, and it's like, and now we're going to teach the. Yeah.
That sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
If you were to bring someone into the film, who would
Jack
you bring?
Black, School of Rock. I just want him in there. I've got nothing for him to do because he would be useless.
Oh my god, he'd be so
But I just want him
bad.
to do his little guitar and dancey slidey thing, like and jumping side to side.
But just imagine if he was there.
Just teaching assistant. That's right.
He'd be the worst teaching assistant ever because he'd be stealing the kids' food. It'd be just like going about just being Jack Black would just be obtrusive enough in that culture because he would go along with his guitar and even the art teacher, as much as the art teacher is welcoming and everything, he would go along and be like, "If you want to be the teacher's pet," and the whole school would be just like, "Who the fuck is this guy? Like, what the hell is this?"
It's just like
Jack
a
Black,
scene.
go
He's
away.
like, is the teacher, the main teacher's going around looking at everyone's painting, and you just see Jack Black slide up next to Isham. He's like, "Come on, Isham, you got to just rig-a-dig-a-doo, get the paintings out of you."
And just everyone's just like, I just don't see what you're doing there, Jack Black.
It's just
So
like
you just want-
we needed someone American to, appeal to a Western audience as well. So let's just get Jack Black in. What's he doing these days? You seen those videos where he's been going to like Japanese game shows? Have you seen any
What?
of that?
No.
Jack Black's done a couple of like Japanese game shows where like there's like ones where he's like putting tights over his face and stuff like just doing some
What?
weird shit. And it's like, Jack, what are you doing, Jack? Why are you over there? What? How did
That's
this happen?
ridiculous.
He'll do anything, man.
He probably would.
Who would you bring in?
What's the name of the teacher from Matilda? The nice one, Miss Honey.
It's like Miss Honey, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it Miss Honey?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'd bring her in because she's a fucking awesome teacher.
Yeah.
And I reckon she'd be great. Like she shows so much compassion and so much love.
What's she doing though? Like, where is she in place of someone? Is she just alongside? What?
I reckon collab with the English teacher.
Ah, yeah, I like it.
Because
like it a lot.
because they got the whole English vibe. Because this English teacher, he's Indian dude, but he's like super posh British accent.
Weird.
Well, it's not weird. I mean, let's put this very lightly. Britain had quite a big influence in India.
It was just it was
so
like
he
what's
probably
it called?
would-
Brian.
What? Brian Blessed?
Yeah, it was like a
Vibe.
Brian Blessed accent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's a very extreme.
Yeah, I guess so. So, but all I'm saying is having her around would be a really, really nice vibe.
Yeah.
And she would, she would do the English lessons and she'd be a wicked English teacher or she'd teach whatever, but also she'd be really cool. She
Maybe
could do
what
like
if she,
drama
like,
department or something.
If she taught at Tulips and then they did a collab between the two schools towards the end, so then you find that maybe if she's been around sort of but not directly involved, and then you see that she's like a really nice teacher and good and stuff, and then she's gonna come on board.
By the way, every time we say collab, I keep thinking of like some mad mixtape is going to drop between Tulip School and this other boarding school.
Lil Sean.
Yeah. Yeah, cool, man. All right, so would you stay indoors to watch this film?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, mate.
100%.
I really would as well.
It's
Totally
such a
staying
feel-good
indoors.
film. It's just so great. And
I mean, you're gonna have emotions. You're
Yeah.
gonna get caught in the feels. But yeah.
As I said, it's 2 hours and 45 minutes, but it didn't feel like that because there's so many different, as you said, like cinematic, like what is the word I'm looking for that you use
Influences.
Elements, like just different ways, like animations and different types of songs and different music and different scenes and things like that. Like it was all put together so nicely, but also kept your interest throughout the whole thing.
About that particular point, I personally feel that if you're like me, you might have to endure that.
Oh, okay.
Because I wasn't a huge fan of that until right at the end, where I felt like the whole thing kind of rounded together.
Okay.
Because it was quite after halfway through the film, it was quite consistent.
Okay.
But anyway,
Would you stay indoors?
Oh yeah. So like allow all of the inconsistencies within the different cinematic influences and the different music and whatever. But because the overall vibe of the film is that it's got everything that I would want a film to have. It's got the family vibes. It's got some bit of drama, some emotions. It's got tension and then redemption at the end of it. It's wicked.
And it's just the important message that the children at Tulips who were more obviously like had issues with learning, like society was treating them like nicely and like accepting that and understanding that, and then all the parents are there celebrating and they're all like it's nice. not everyone has something that's physical that you can see, that you're aware of. I think maybe that's what it was that sort of resonated the most, is that it's the story of someone who, like Ishan, who had an issue that people didn't understand and couldn't see, so they expected from him.
Yeah.
And I think
not
that's
every disability is visible.
Exactly. And I think it's just such a good message that everyone should see.
Yeah, cool. So definitely go watch this film. Well, good.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, another quick little bonus thing is that we got some fan mail from Catherine.
Fan mail.
What's up, Catherine?
Ding ding.
So she says, shout me out, boys. So do you want to do one of those?
Catherine, shout out.
Nice. Wally was the best one yet, though I spent ages trying to place Ben's accent. Catherine.
Yeah.
And she put a little X, little kiss down there, which is very nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, I've got no fucking clue where Ben's from either.
Yeah, he's told me multiple times.
And you're his friend, so where's he from, Jordan?
I can't remember.
Great, real good. I get like a bit of a Scottish vibe sometimes.
Oh wow, okay.
Sometimes,
No,
sometimes, but then
not
it's like
close.
generic Northern. Sometimes I thought it was super camp at times,
Yeah.
but camp is not like a place.
No. Yeah, I think he's like near Hull or something. I always say Yorkshire or Huddersfield, but that's just where my family are from up north, and I just I think it's
the
just
only
me
place
trying
you
to
know
be
in the
close to
north?
Ben. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, so in response to Catherine, we don't know where he's from. Really sorry. We probably should have asked him.
Realistically,
or
I should have
probably
had
like-
the foresight to have asked and remembered, but I haven't done that.
Yeah.
And I don't have any signal. So sorry, Catherine.
Can't find out right now.
But
But we're glad you enjoyed the episode. That's really
Yeah.
nice. And if anyone else wants to get in touch and request a shout out or whatever, and so that Jordan can say that shout out thing and
shout out.
yeah, so Jordan can, and then say your name or say your name beforehand.
Jordan.
Yeah, pick yourself up, mate. Then you can email 250reasons@gmail.com.
250reasons@gmail.com.
What are we going to watch next week, Jordan?
Next week, we're going to watch Inglorious Bastards.
Okay. Yeah, it's a weirdly spelled film. But yeah, we're going to go watch that.
First Quentin Tarantino of the list that we've done so far, I believe.
Oh, are there a whole bunch of them in the list?
Yeah, probably. I mean, they're all pretty good.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'm looking forward to it. I've been kind of meaning to watch it for a while. So, yeah.
I have actually seen it before.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, see you next week, everyone.
See you next week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, listeners, just want to say that intro that you heard at the top of this podcast honestly wasn't scripted. That was completely...
It was a wonderful moment.
That was real.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just as we finish here, there's not going to be any more of that. I don't think it's going to happen for another 20 episodes.
Yeah,
but,
probably not.
You know, just want to let you know about the social media that you can find us on. We are at 250 Reasons on Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram. Yes, we've already fucked it.
Okay, well, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And you can email us 250reasons@gmail.com with your 15-second pitch.
Yeah.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Acast, Stitcher, and now on Spotify.
Woohoo!
Nice.
You literally have no excuse other than to listen to us now. So
There you go.
Go ahead and do them.
You can do that thing.
As always, much love and goodbye.
Take care now.